What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chimpact. Welcome to week 2 of the GBA. I'm your coach of the Philadelphia Scissors, Chimpact, and my opponent is Aster of the Montreal Habsols. And look at the team matchup. He's got a few Pokemon weak to rocks. He's got 3 Pokemon weak to rocks, 1 resist, and like he's brought the Zapdos. The 3 Pokemon that I thought he was gonna bring were the Lopunny, the Scolipede, and the Zapdos. The Darmanitan, the Metagross, and the Melodic I was not sure of. But I was actually pretty confident that I was going to bring the Metagross, but at the same time, like, he did pick up a couple other Pokemon, so I'm really not sure of if he was going to bring the Metagross, but he did. And it's kind of annoying that he did decide to trade for the Metagross, because Nihilego actually just dealt very, very well against his entire team if he didn't have that Metagross. But he does have it, so that's pretty much what can I do. So basically the game plan is to weaken the Metagross to below 50%. And make sure that the Zapdos has taken a little bit of damage, or make sure that I know that it's not max HP or something like that, so Power Gem can knock it out, and weaken the Melodic. And keep in mind that I cannot KO the Melodic with a Toxic, because if I do KO it when it is Toxic, then I'm not going to get the Speed Beast boost, and my entire game plan is based around getting that Beast boost, so I'm unable to be revenge killed. And I just basically need to just sweep his entire team. Obviously, with my defense investment on my Nihilego, because I can't run max special attack, it is going to be primarily... like, it's running a lot of defense investments. So here, I expect him to lead out with the Darmanitan. So I'm going to lead out with my Uxie so that I can set up my Stealth Rock. Turn 1, you know, just get the Stealth Rock up. Even if he goes for the Flare Blitz, it will likely not to kill me due to the leftovers. He goes for the U-turn, and that's either Jolly, max damage, or Adamant mid-roll. So I'm just thinking it's going to be Adamant mid-roll, because that's the first turn of the game. There's no way you get max damage first turn. Come on, dude. So Sam T is going to set up the Stealth Rock, and he goes out into his Metagross. And this is pretty good. I can just click Foul Play on this Metagross, and it'll take around 50% damage if he's just max attack, max HP, which is the set that I'm expecting him to run. So I click Foul Play, and that does a little bit over 40%, slightly under 50. So I'm thinking that this is not the max attack variant of the Metagross that I was actually expecting. And I got my Stealth Rock up, he got his rocks up, and I'm just going to click U-turn here, because I doubt that he's going to want to let his Metagross take another Foul Play. So I was actually expecting him to go out into the Melodic, but it really doesn't matter what he goes out into, because I'm just going to click U-turn. So the only problem was that if he went out into the Zapdos and it was a static Zapdos, and he got the static paralysis on my Uxie, that was pretty much the only thing that I was worried about. He's not static, he's actually pressure. Pressure is good for just knowing the speed tiers of my team. I'm going to go out into Nihilego, and I'm just going to stay in and go for the Power Gem. I know that he has good switches to the Power Gem, but I'm just going to click it anyway. And at this point, like I said, if he does go out to the Metagross, I'm going to switch out, even though I can't knock it out with a Foul Play, because I really just want to sweep with this Nihilego, and I do not want to take any damage from the Bullet Punch from Metagross if it does have Bullet Punch. But he goes out to the Melodic, and based on that damage, I know it's especially defensive, because Power Gem should do a lot more than that. Well, not a lot more than that, but typically should do more than that. So I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go out to my Greninja. And this Greninja is basically... It's going to set up the entire game, because it's going to weaken the Melodic to where Nihilego is going to be able to beat it. And I'm just going to first initially just go for the Toxic. I miss. He misses Dragon Tail. That was such a stupid turn. Just both of us missing. Here I was kind of worried that he was going to switch out into the Scolipede, but I figured that I'd rather go for the Toxic here anyway. I didn't want to go for the Dark Pulse and just do nothing, because if I go for Dark Pulse, he can easily just recover off the damage after, if he does go for a Dragon Tail, and Dragon Tails me out into something that can't really threaten the Melodic. I do have Grass Knot on this Nihilego, but I'm not going to click it because I don't want to reveal it, and I don't want to take any unnecessary damage on my Nihilego. It's kind of dumb. Well, not really kind of dumb, but it's kind of unfortunate that I did have to go into Nihilego, because that's another Stealth Rock turn that I have to take damage wise. So Bullet Punch is I'm slowly being put into Bullet Punch range, but I do know that it's not max attack on the Metagross, so the Bullet Punch is not going to deal as much damage as it normally would. So I'm going to go to Uxie here, and this is kind of a misplay this turn. I am going to click Psychic here, and he could have went out into the Zapdos there and gotten rid of my hazards. But if he did go into Zapdos, he likely was also, he would have gotten rid of my hazards too. So if I did click U-turn, this Zapdos would have been below 50%. So like that, I pretty much just only need Stealth Rock for the Zapdos to really put myself in a good position to win. But luckily for me, he doesn't switch out into the Zapdos to try to get rid of the hazards. I mean, I also did know that the Melodic was poison, and I did reveal the fact that I have U-turn. I didn't reveal that I had Psychic yet, so I could have just U-turned anyway on the Melodic. So he's just going to go for the recover here, and this is a prime opportunity for me to just set up some spikes, because it's likely that the Melodic can just eat up the Greninja hits, but the Toxic is really racking up on it. So I'm just going to click Spike here. I don't want to click any other attack, but he realizes that the Melodic is taking a lot of damage from the Toxic, and he's going to want to switch out, but I got up my Stealth Rock, I got up one layer of Spike, and in comes this this Lopunny. So it's at 87%, so that's ideal, because Psychic, if he does turn into the Mega Evolution form of normal fighting, it will be able to knock out a Lopunny without a lot of special or hidden HP investment. I was going to say hidden power, but yeah, he clicks Drain Punch and he doesn't Mega Evolve. I don't know if that was a misclick or he didn't want to Mega Evolve, because it does make sense that he doesn't want to Mega Evolve, because he does turn into a Psychic type. I did reveal Psychic before on my Uxie, and I could have went out into Uxie right there and threatened it, but he doesn't. And here I'm just going to click, I'm actually going to double switch here, expecting him to go on to Zapdos, Metagross, or Scolipede. And he might have thought that I was Scarf, so if he did go out into Zapdos or something, he would have been 2-hit killed by a Wood Hammer or something like that. So he does go into Metagross, and let me pause it right here. So this is my Victini against his Metagross, right? I could click Fusion Bolt expecting him to go into Melodic, but I do not want the Melodic dead. Like, the Melodic is good for allowing my Greninja to set up and allow it to take a little bit more damage, because there's 2 win cons in this game. There's actually 3, but the third is like kind of an emergency win con. It's just to set up all my hazards and just win with priority with like quick attack and stuff. But I guess this is one of my other win cons. Like, Spikes with Water Shuriken, Greninja, and Torrent range is very, very deadly, especially since I just saw that the Lopunny did no damage with the Drain Punch. I didn't actually calc the damage, because if you see my live narration of this, it's really annoying for me to calc, because I have to like use my desktop, and there's not a lot of room on my, but whatever. It's just know that it's weird for me to calc right now. So I could click Fusion Bolt and knock out the Melodic, or I could click V-Crit. This Metagross is a little bit more threatening to me than the Melodic. And if I click V-Crit on the, I'd rather click V-Crit on the Melodic than Fusion Bolt, because if I click Fusion Bolt, then the thing is dead, but if I click V-Crit, it's still alive, and it's likely going to just click Recover. And if it doesn't click Recover, then I can just go onto my Greninja and Dark Pulse and knock it out. So I don't want my Victini in to knock out the Melodic. I want my Greninja in, because I want my Greninja a little bit weaker so that it is closer to Torrent range, because I failed to mention it, but Torrent boosted Water Shuriken is a win condition, and I still have my Z Dark Pulse to knock out the Zapdos. And I still have the threat of Ice Beam, because I haven't shown my entire moveset yet. I've just shown Spikes, Dark Pulse, and until I reveal Water Shuriken, he doesn't know that I don't have Ice Beam. So I click the V-Crate there, and it's almost enough to knock out the Melodic, but he has leftovers Grassy Terrain. So even with that, it's going to take on the Toxic. So here I can't really afford to stay in, because this is just still very good for the quick attack against the Lopunny, the Darmanitan, and the other Pokemon that he has, Scolipede, Lopunny, and Darmanitan. So he's gonna click Recover there, and the Toxic is going to cancel out the leftovers and the Grassy Terrain here, so that's pretty good for me. The Grassy Terrain is also a little bit helpful for me as well, obviously, just so that if he does happen to Scald Burn me, I will kind of slightly be out of range. So here I'm gonna click Dark Pulse, And this Dark Pulse is stronger than my Nihilgo's Power Gem because I'm modest, and Dark Pulse is, I think it's the same power as Power Gem, or maybe Power Gem 70, but I think Power Gem is 80 power. But my Greninja has more special attack than my Nihilgo because I am modest and Nihilgo is timid with less special attack investment. So the Dark Pulse should do more than the Nihilgo. So here I think I'm just going to repeatedly spam Dark Pulse. Okay, I'm going to go for Spike here, expecting him to click Recover here, possibly, or even Scald. It really doesn't matter. He clicks Recover there. And I fired off quite a few Dark Pulses, so, like, I don't want to say that it's unlucky for me to get the flinches with the Dark Pulse, but it's the law of averages. Eventually, the Dark Pulse is going to flinch because it's a 20% chance. So here I am going to click Dark Pulse. It doesn't really do that much damage to the Melodic. I guess that was a lower roll, but he brings me down to pretty low. And I am in torrent range right now, but basically the game is pretty much over if Nihilego comes in on Metagross or Zapdos, which is kind of likely. Like, I really doubt that he goes into the Melodic, or not the Melodic, the Lopunny on the Switch, because he did reveal Drain Punch and he didn't click Fake Out on my Greninja. So I'm not too sure of if he has Fake Out on his Lopunny right now. Because Fake Out Drain Punch, I don't really think that's a set. I think if you're running Drain Punch, you're likely to run more coverage, Toxic, Encore, stuff like that instead of Fake Out. When I see Fake Out, you're more likely going to be running High Jump Kick or Quick Attack or something like that. I do finally get a flinch there on the Melodic, and I'm able to knock it out. And I just want to stress that I really did not want to click the Z move because I wanted to save the Z move for the Zapdos to ensure that I keep hazards on the field. He goes back out into Lopunny, and it's 100% in range of Psychic here. If it's like the standard, like, not the standard, but the amount of HP EVs that he needs, that he just has extra to throw in. If he's running max attack, enough speed, outspeed Greninja, Jolly, and then put the rest in the HP, I think that's around 70 to 90. So with that in mind, Psychic is going to be enough to knock it out because he's taken way more than whatever it was. So he goes down to the Lopunny, and on my Greninja, he clicks Cosmic Power. And I'm like, okay, the Drain Punch made a lot of sense now because he's Cosmic Power and he wants to have a little bit of recovery there. So at this point, I know that he's likely going to Baton Pass, or has Baton Pass on his moveset. And I could Leech Seed so that the Pokemon that he Baton Passes into is stuck in Leech Seed as well. Even if I happen to be faster, if I happen to be slower. But I couldn't risk him having Substitute and him substituting on my Leech Seed, so I decided to just click Horn Leech. And with the defense boost, I'm not certain of how much damage the Nihilego is capable of doing with Foul Play, because my Foul Play from my Nihilego is going to do slightly more damage than all my other Foul Plays other than Scrafty's, because I'm Extra Belt and Scrafty has Stab Foul Play. So the Metagross is healing a little bit, and I'm just going to click Leech Seed here because I know with my defense investment and the fact that he doesn't have a lot of attack investment on his Metagross that I should be able to eat this pretty handily. But he misses right there, and that's kind of annoying for me because I want to put this Metagross in range to where I know that Foul Play knocks it out, but at the same time, I want it so that one of my Pokemon is sacked so I can bring in my Nihilego so that I get the Beast Boost against this Pokemon. And because he missed right there, he's not going to be able to 2-hit kill me, and he clicks Earthquake here as well. Expecting my Victini to come in. And just in case my plan actually doesn't work out, I didn't want to switch out into Victini because Victini still has the quick attack priority, which is still very, very good. It can take any hit from any one of his Pokemon. I guess not at that amount of health because he would have been at minus 50% from the Stealth Rock, but it still took a little HP back from Grassy Train. It would have healed a little bit more from Grassy Train and Leech Seed. So I click Horn Leech here again, and he clicks Meteor Mash. I don't think Horn Leech was the play there, actually. I just got a little carried away. It's hard to do the math on Wi-Fi with, like, you just have to gauge how much HP that he's at. But on Showdown, you know exactly how much HP Leech Seed's doing. You know exactly how much HP he's healing from the leftovers and the grassy terrain. So it's a little bit more difficult to do this on Wi-Fi because I don't really know how much HP he's at. So here I decide to click Protect to see if he has the bullet punch, because if he does have the bullet punch, he would have clicked it here, knowing that it would have knocked out my Bulu with the attack boost. But he doesn't actually click it there, and the grassy terrain runs out, so I'm a little worried here, because on this turn I want to sack my Uxie, but if he misses the meteor mash, the Metagross is going to die. And if the Metagross dies, then I don't get the speed boost with my Nihilego. And he might want to go out into Scolipede and get the speed boost immediately and knock out my Uxie. But luckily for me, he does connect, and that's just very solid. So at this point, the game should be over, because I can just click foul play on this Pokemon, right? Even with the defense boost, I should be enough to knock it out. There's no way you have bullet punch, right? No bullet punch. Katara gets the foul play off, and Alphonse is gone. So I get the speed boost from my Nihilego. I have Stealth Rock up and 2 layers of Spike. And the Darmanitan is outsped. He goes out to Lopunny. He does not outspeed me, but he might be able to take the hit because he might not be running any attack investment. So I click Psychic here, and I do knock it out, but the HP bar went down really slow, and this Nihilego is is going to claim some kills for the rest of the game. This is GG. I click Power Gem on this Pokemon. I know that it's Scarf because it doesn't make sense for it to be any other set other than Scarfed. I know it's not banded because the U-turn didn't do as much damage as a banded Darmanitan U-turn does. So click Power Gem there, knock it out. He has only 2 Pokemon left. That is the Scolipede and the Zapdos. And at this point, I'm thinking, or after I clicked Foul Play on the Metagross, I was thinking, if he does go into Scolipede immediately, what move do I click? Do I click Power Gem or do I click Psychic? Because Psychic is capable of killing the Scolipede if it is a Charty Berry. But if it's Charty Berry, I likely want to click Psychic, right? But if it's Pyapa Berry, I want to click Power Gem. But at the same time, I was like, I might just be able to knock it out, even with through the Charty Berry with my Power Gem because of the Stealth Rock and the 2 layers of Spike that I set up earlier. So it really didn't matter in the end because he's not even the Charty Berry. But even with the Charty Berry, like I don't really think it's good prep because Scolipede should be able to outspeed my Nihilego anyway. But that's gonna be the game. Obviously, if you guys want to check out the live narration, I have it up there. Check out the team builder. I guess I shouldn't say check out the team builder after the battle's already happened, but we are +7, 2-0 in our division. So that's really solid. We're starting off the GBA strong. F the GBA, by the way. F the GBA. Of course, you know, I gotta say it every battle. Post-game analysis coming soon. Jeopardy is also coming soon later on in this week. And shout out to the Common Dude for recording this for me. Peace. One more thing. I just want to explain why I like livecom over postcom a little bit more. Because in livecom, if you watch my livecom video and the postcom video, you saw that the mindset was pretty much the same. I didn't say that, oh, his Darmanitan is probably going to be Scarf, Adamant, U-turn. The Scolipede is likely going to be Careful Nature with Swords Dance, Mega Horn, Superpower, and Earthquake. And then Lopunny's probably going to be like a Cosmic Power set based on the team because he has a couple of Baton Passers on the team. Lopunny, yeah, I likely the Lopunny is going to be running like Cosmic Power, Drain Punch, especially defensive set, and the Metagross, of course, is not going to be running a lot of attack investments, so the foul play for my Pokemon is not going to really do too much, and then it's probably going to be carrying Stealth Rock. Could also be carrying, like, I'm not going to say you could also be carrying Spikes on the Skull, because, like, in hindsight, like, the people that narrate the postcom, they act like they know the entire sets of the entire team of the opponent. And it annoys me a little bit because, like, you don't know the entire set of the opponent, because if you did a live com, we would be able to see it. And, like, I have no idea what sets this guy's gonna run. It's going to be, I'm thinking, like, this Lopunny's High Jump Kick, this Scolipede Swords Dance, this, like, obviously, most Darmanitan are going to be Scarf, so I can't say that, like, Darmanitan's not going to be Scarf, but, like, this Zapdos is likely going to be carrying Defog unless the Scolipede is Spikes and this Metagross is Stealth Rock, but... And then this obviously most Melodic are pretty much the same. Scald, Ice Beam, Haze, Recover, Toxic, Dragon Tail, Refresh, Mirror Coat. I don't really know HP Electric for my Greninja. But, like, they talk about the team preview, and they like know the entire set, and they sort of spoil the battle a little bit in the aspect that they spoil the sets of the team, so that it's not really a surprise. I was watching, I'm not gonna say any names, but I was watching somebody play against somebody else, and they said, oh, based on the team, these are all setup mons, and I'm like, what? How would you know? Like, just because they're potentially setup mons doesn't mean they're all gonna be setup mons, and they all happen to be setup mons. But like, come on. Like, you didn't know that going into the battle. Like, all these Pokemon could be set up. This could be Agility Zapdos. This could be Agility Metagross. This could be Power Punch Lopunny into Baton Pass Agility Metagross. This, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this could be Substitute Heat, what is this? Darmanitan. I was gonna say Heat Daruma, because that's the Japanese name. Like, that's the reason why I don't like postcomm, because, like, they just act like they know more, and then because they act like they know more, people in the comment section think that they know more, and it hurts the people in the comment section because they're held to a higher standard, because the people in the comment section, I mean, because like they don't improve as much because they're like, dang, this guy's so much better than me, I can't compete with him because he knows all these things. But they know all these things because they narrate like after the battle. Another thing is that when they miss something, they complain that it's such a big deal in hindsight. That they would have made this play, they would have made this play, but you wouldn't have made that play exactly in hindsight if you didn't get hacks. And when they do get hacks, they're just like, yeah, this really doesn't matter. So let me talk about my hacks. I'm sorry, this is a really long video, but like, you obviously, this is an unlisted video. Not a lot of you have gone this far anyway. So the Metagross missed the Meteor Mash, and I flinched the Lopunny, or I flinched the Melodic down. The Melodic was spam and recover, and I think I hit 5 or 6 Dark Pulses already, so it was bound to flinch. And the Metagross, as you saw from the damage the Meteor Mash did initially, it wasn't going to kill me, and it wasn't going to 2-hit kill me either. And the more damage the Metagross did to, like, I wanted the Metagross to actually hit me with the Meteor Mash, because that means that I hit it with less Horn Leeches. Like, my Bulu would have probably been healthier as well, because I only wanted to bring the Metagross down to like 25-30% to ensure that the foul play from my Nihilego knocked it out. Because it did get +1 in the Cosmic Power defense boost, so the foul play was going to do slightly less damage. So there's the aspect of like, if he missed the Meteor Mash, that would have been so dumb against my Uxie. So if you hit the first Meteor Mash, him missing the other Meteor Mash against my Uxie would not have mattered as much, is what I'm trying to say. Like, if you hit the first Meteor Mash and I Horn Leash, I would have just switched out to the Uxie afterwards, because the Bulu is still pretty important in dealing with the Lopunny. Because I didn't know the Lopunny set. My Bulu takes on returns a little bit better than my Uxie does because of the Grassy Terrain and Protect. So that's just like a little rant that I had. I'm not trying to be negative. As you heard from my team builder, I'm trying to be more positive in 2018, trying to be a better person. And it's just a little rant that I had about post narration versus live comm that I really couldn't articulate in my team builder video, but I could now in this little thing. Anyways, that's actually it. Peace.